Today we're out here at Englewood Arts Center where you're going to learn how to explore the creative arts pathway. Come and join us inside. I'm here with Brandon Schnurr, Director of Arts and Programming here at the Englewood Arts Center in Independence, Missouri. So, tell us a little bit more about your job in general.
Yeah, so as the Director of Arts and Programming, I have kind of a big overview of everything that we do here. Between our visual arts, performing arts, and culinary art focuses, I have a few different people that I manage directly as staff people. I also work directly with our resident artists that work in all kinds of different artistic mediums. And then I work on things like classes and making sure that we have programming for the community at large.
Okay, you mentioned a resident artist. What does that entail?
Yeah, so resident artists are artists that apply for a one-year position to utilize the studio space, and in turn they give back to the Art Center through service hours, and then they have things like exhibitions, and they are able to just work in the studio kind of free, and gives them the opportunity to just create and explore all kinds of different mediums and whatever it is that they might want to work on.
I love that. And then is there something that you would say embodies an artist, like certain qualities or anything?
I mean, creativity, obviously. I think you have to want to make something and have there's a lot of people that want to make things, but it's the actual drive to do it that I think really makes for an artist. It doesn't always have to be a masterpiece, unlike what some people think, but just the willingness to keep creating is kind of the major focus that I think a lot of artists need.
I'm here with Kevin Miller at Englewood Arts Center in Independence, Missouri. So, you are in the glassblowing business.
Yep. Glass manager.
How did you get into this path?
I actually saw it when I was 10 years old at Jamestown, Colonial Jamestown, and thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I mean, you get to play with fire. How cool is that for a 10-year-old? And so the adult me went, I want to make the 10-year-old me proud. So I became a glassblower.
And then you said you've graduated from 2 colleges. What's like some classes that students should pay attention in or like really want to take to get into like this industry?
If you want to be a glassblower, be prepared to use a lot of math, science, and creativity. So art, science, math, and your own inspiration.
I'm here today with Cole Kennedy at Englewood Arts Center in Independence, Missouri. So, tell us a little bit just about your job.
I am a glassblower. I also do metal fabrication, woodworking, but I am currently a resident artist as a glassblower, so I mostly work in the hot shop with the other glass artist, Swede, and we make our work about 4 days a week and then do production 2 days a week for the shop.
Yeah, I love that. And then what is kind of like, you said hot shop, what is that?
The hot shop is where all the glass blowing is done. It is where everything is nice and warm, so we use a furnace with our glass, and then we have a reheating chamber to heat that up, and we're always working really, really hot, so that's why we call it the hot shop, because we have multiple different types of shops. We have our cold shop and our just like normal temperature shop, so we just kind of call them different things so that people know where we're at.
Fantastic. And then what would you say like is the process of a piece from like just a piece of glass to an amazing artwork?
So glass always starts out the same for everybody's project. It starts out as a giant glob of glass that you have to form into things. It depends on what you're making. Some people are making vases and some people are making sculptures. I'm always making sculptures for the most part, so I have to really sit down, design a project, and figure out how I'm gonna make just a glob into like a form, like a mouse or a dog or something like that.
I'm here at the Englewood Arts Center in Independence, Missouri with a resident artist, Swede Hickok. And so what is like the process of going from like a blob of glass to a beautiful piece of artwork like the ones behind us?
So glass starts, it's molten glass. It essentially starts as hot sand. You take sand off the beach, you heat it hot enough, you're gonna get glass. We run our ovens at 2,100 degrees. And essentially, once you have that big vat of molten glass, you gather it out, similar to the process of picking honey up on a stick, and then shape it, blow into it, dye it, and then you actually form it then into the shape that you want. Once it reaches around 1,000 degrees, that's when the material starts to solidify. And so we're always kind of playing with letting it solidify and then heating up certain areas to then stretch that or blow that out and then shape that area. And then once everything is then created, then we then put it into our kiln and it sits there for 18 hours, slowly cooling down.
I'm here today at Englewood Arts in Independence, Missouri with Peyton Koronic, the resident ceramic artist. So, how do you get like a blob of clay to just one of these amazing pieces on your wall?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of practice. It really becomes an intuitive process. It becomes, once you work with it a lot, it becomes sort of natural, but you do have to play with the clay and get the material down. So we start off a lot of the times with a little pinch pot, and it's where you take a ball of clay and you just pinch around like a little crab claws, and then it becomes a little bowl, and then you could start to really sort of shape, create a little cylinder or a little even wider bowl, and then it becomes something noticeable, and then you can go from there to create like a face on the wall or something.
Perfect. And then if you were going to be like going to a classroom or something, what would be something that like students really need to pay attention to in school, like a class that like helps with this?
I think obviously what the teacher says, pay attention to your teacher, but also be a little free in the class, like in an art class. Really go with what you feel is fun and right. Don't listen to everyone all the time, besides your instructor, your teacher. Be more intuitive with it, so natural. With art, it's really an opinion, and it's really what you want it to be.
I'm here with Charlie Gannon, Resource Development Coordinator and part-time musician. So, can you tell me just a little bit about what your day-to-day life here is?
Yeah, so on a day-to-day basis at Englewood, I am doing a variety of things. I work on community engagement projects, writing grants to raise money for the Art Center, and meeting with community members to see how they can get involved with the Art Center.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And then about you being a part-time musician, what's that like being here at Englewood Arts?
So I did my undergraduate at University of Minnesota, way up north, and I studied music performance while I was there. And when I moved to Missouri, I took an interest on the administrative side of the arts, and I ended up working here at Englewood. But so this is kind of like my 9 to 5, my day job. And then when I'm not working at Englewood, I'm either teaching music lessons or I'm performing. I've performed on this stage here a couple of times as well. So it's a fun balance getting to do one thing for my day job and then having the music as another part of my life.
And we're back with director Brandon Schnurr. So, going to college to be an artist, what does that embody? What does that tell?
Yeah, so usually depending on what your medium really is, there are a lot of different classes that you're going to want to take. While I was in college, even though I was in fine arts, I took a lot of math classes, definitely a lot of like speech and writing classes. There's just a lot of things outside of just making art that's really important as far as being an artist. So all the classes that you can take are not always going to be just art classes. So yeah, you got to be good at talking to people. You have to be good at writing. History is always a big one too, so you know kind of the things that you're making and how they relate to things that have been made in the past. So there's lots of different opportunities for different classes.
And to kind of just go off that, is there like a university or institute in Missouri or Kansas that like is like just a perfect thing? Like if you want to be an artist, this is like kind of your shot at where to go.
Sure. So I went to the Kansas City Art Institute for my undergraduate degree. It is an amazing school. I mean, the major focus is art there. And so you get teachers and professors that are full-time artists, part-time teachers, or, you know, the people that really are actively artists. It's a really good school. It is probably one of the best art schools in the region.
Being an artist and going into the art world, it can be scary because you don't know if you're going to have work or income or money. How do you kind of navigate that kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, so one of the things that a lot of artists will probably tell you is that you need to be really good at a lot of different things. So most artists aren't just, say, a painter and just making paintings full time. They work in frame shops, or they do some kind of maybe construction or something on the side. So there's a lot of little things that artists tend to be pretty good at and just be able to kind of supplement income. Anyone that's trying to be a full-time artist will tell you they're not just a full-time artist. There's all kinds of other little jobs that you have to do all the time.
I'm here with Kevin, the manager of the Glass Lab, and he is going to tell us what he's going to demonstrate for us today.
Just gonna basically do a little floppy bowl for you guys. It's dynamic and fun. Add some color, make it ooh ah funny.
Fantastic.